Ako si Binibini 1 Samantha Pandillo mula sa Sinilangan ng Mga Bayani, Cavite. My national costume designed by Clevin Bartolaba was inspired by the Philippine Revolution given my province's historical nature. The crown signifies the 13 martyrs of Cavite and its design influenced by my Aunt Myrna Pandillo's winning crown in Binibining Pilipinas 1964. The gold feather-like shoulders emanate a gladiator silhouette, modernized and innovated, just like our modern-day empowered women. This shows that freedom isn't solely won by blood battles, but also by our inner power, pure hearts, and resilience as Filipinos. That we are worth fighting for. Completing this creation is a belt that represents the Philippine flag. Strength and independence of modern-day Filipino women are what my national costume strives for, to show that we are able to flap our own wings of freedom, to fight our own battles with beauty and grace. Independence is a choice we have made in our history, and a choice that we make every day so that we can soar high.
Ako si Binibini 2, Lois Ann Badando, galing sa lungsod ng Marikina.
Bang. This design was inspired by 1900s photos of the indigenous tribes in northern Luzon. It showcases the vibrant and wealthy tradition of the tribes when it comes to clothing. The indigenous tribes in northern Luzon have maintained their distinctive culture, including their traditional clothes lavishly adorned with precious beads and stones. To promote patriotism and support craftsmanship and intricacy with the indigenous fabrics, the designer used blue, red, and yellow shades, which can also be seen in the Philippine flag. The fabric was meticulously weaved in Baguio City and made by Easter Weaving Room with a design of Bang, a term coined in northern Luzon which means butterfly.
Claro M. Recto had once wisely observed that a people was set apart by its common experiences. A Filipino had no identity without its people's history. The costume depicts and is inspired by the image of the child Jesus Santo Niño. Santo Niño de Tondo Parish lies at the very heart of Tondo, Manila, which has been a significant part of the Philippine history for centennial of generations. The church is one of the earliest churches established by the Spanish friars in Luzon, and the image is believed to be the second oldest venerated image of the child Jesus in the Philippines, a significant symbolism of Filipinos embracing the Catholic faith.
I am Binibini 4, Arian Desiree Biardo, hails from the Christmas capital and the home of the giant lanterns, the city of San Fernando, Pampanga, wearing a parol terno-inspired costume. The parol is an ornamental star-shaped Christmas lantern, traditionally made of bamboo and paper. It represents the Star of Bethlehem, which guided the three wise men to the manger where Christ the child was born. In the yesteryears, the lighted parol illuminated the paths of the Filipino during the ritual dawn masses of the Yuletide season. Today, it does not only symbolizes the victory of light over darkness, it is also a testament of the Filipino people's resilience. Mabuhay!
Ako si Binibini 5, Princess Kian Esmela Guanzon, galing sa Occidental, Mindoro. Ang suotang ito ay sumisimbolo ng kultura, tradisyon, sining at kabuhayan ng mga mangyan. Ang mga mangyan ay kilala sa pagiging masipag at malikhain. Ang kanilang pangunahing hanap buhay ay pagtatanim ng palay, gulay, prutas at pangingisda. Ang buntot ng aking kasuotan ay nagsisimbolo sa dagat kung saan kumukuha ang mga mangyan ng kanilang ikinabubuhay, at ang detalye sa pangitaas na kasuotan naman ay nagsisimbolo ng kultura at sining. Isa sa pangunahing likhaing sining ng mga mangyan ay ang pakudos, na sa paniniwala ng mga tutubo ay nagtataboy ng masasamang espiritu sa kapaligiran. Ang mga aksesaryong mangyan din ang nagbibigay palumuti sa aking buhok, lieg at bewang na magpapakita ng pagiging malikhain ng mga mangyan sa larangan ng sining at kultura.
Ako si Shannon Zumail Tampon mula sa Caloocan. Ang kasuotan ay lumalarawan sa tanyag na monumento, ang pangunahing palatandaan ng lungsod ng Caloocan. Simbolo ng mga pangyayari, katapangan at kagitingan ng mga Pilipino. Ang modernong kasuotan ng Lakambini ng Caloocan ay hango sa kasuotan ni Andres Bonifacio, na hawak ang tabak at bandila ng katipunero. Ito'y sumisimbolo sa mga makabagong kababaihan, lumalaban at patuloy na itinataguyod ang karapatan ng bawat kababaihan at ng mga inaapi sa lipunan. Isang adhikain na mula noon hanggang ngayon ay patuloy na isinusulong upang manatili ang pagkakapantay-pantay ng karapatan ng bawat mamamayang Pilipino.
Ako si Meiji Cruz mula sa lungsod ng Valenzuela. Inspirasyon ng aking kasuotan sila Kapati, diwata ng agrikultura at kasaganaan, simbolo ng mapagkalingang ani. Biyaya niya ang bawat butil at bungang nagsisilbing pananggalang ng sangkatauhan at iba pang nilalang mula sa gutom at mga sakit. Samantala, ang mga pakpak ng tutubi ay simbolo ng bagong simula. Nagpapaalalang laging may pag-asa sa gitna ng mga pagsubok. Imahe naman ng iba't ibang uri ng ibon ang aking putong, sapagkat tulad ng kanilang sigla sa paglipad, tayo rin ay may laya at kapangyarihang tugisin ang ating mga pangarap. Tiyaga at pangangalaga, yan ang kinakatawan ng aking mga kumikinang at dambuhalang kuko. Mga gawi at pag-uugaling taglay nating mga Pilipino, susi sa ating bawat tagumpay. Sa kabuuan, ang aking trahe ay kombinasyon ng rikit na mga pinong puntas, tibay ng tansong metal, karilagan ng perlas at Swarovsking mga kristal. Isang mabining kasuotang tanging isip at mga kamay lang ng malikhaing Pilipino ang makagagawa. Ngunit ito'y higit pa sa pagiging kasuotan. Ang aking trahe ay simbolo ng aking dangal, ng aking pusong binibini, ng aking dugong Filipina.
The land of thousand colors. Quezon Province is known for its quaint towns and serene nature views. Not only are we proud of the rich coconut plantations in the province, but we also want to highlight the native dance that is truly Quezonian, the Jota Gumaqueña. Quezon is also famed for the celebration of the Philippines' most colorful harvest festival, Pahiyas. When one hears Pahiyas, keeping immediately comes to mind. It is a reflection of our farmers' gratitude for a very bountiful harvest. Kaya, tara na sa napakamakulay na lalawigan ng Quezon.
The costume was conceptualized from which the city was named after. The headpiece embodies luyong, also known as anahaw, which represents victory, strength, and loyalty. The batya symbolizes shield, protection, and defense. Along with this, it features the Mandaluyong's famous Lavanderos Festival.
Ako si Binibini 10, Maureen Monteng, galing sa Padre Garcia, Batangas. My national costume is a reflection of history, culture, and the resources that has made Batangas an economic power, evidenced by the Kalatagan pot, Batangas antedates the Hispanic influence as it has already thrived as small lacanantes scattered in its plains and high grounds. Long before the Spanish colonization, these lacanantes were already producing their own food like rice and coconuts. This costume strives to incorporate these historical and cultural dimensions into a stunning masterpiece, a fashion statement that tells the past, present, and future of the beautiful province. Batangas stands resilient, having experienced both volcanic eruption and the pandemic. This is a reminder of the hero in each and every Batangueño, rising despite all adversities.
A mystical starry manok-inspired costume that is depicted as a fowl with colorful wings and tail. The magnificent yellow modern Filipiniana gown that represents the color of hope and joy amidst the crisis that the world is facing now. Embellished with jeweled sari-manok patches on the bodies of the gown, adorned from the famous and unique embroidery technique in Bukawi, Bulacan, called cadineta. An art that has been passed on through generations, a world-class craftsmanship. A masterpiece that is regarded as the beacon of yearning through these trying times. A modern, mythical, and cultural Filipiniana ensemble by the renowned Filipino designer Paolo Blanco. This is your Bini 11, Bianca Luis Marcelo from Bukawi, Bulacan.
Ako si Cinderella Feo Banyera, galing sa lungsod ng ginintuang pagkakaibigan at pintuang daan ng Hilagang Mindanao, Cagayan de Oro, Misamis Oriental. Legend has it that Cagayan de Oro is resting on the back of a giant goldfish. This is the mythical inspiration of my national costume, a fitting tribute to the Oro as a gentle creature. This ensemble is composed of over 10,000 glittering pieces with dominant spangles, representing the golden coconut called kuyamis, abundant in Misamis Oriental, and the namesake of its festival that celebrates good harvest, accentuating the piece as a crown, an homage to Birhen Sakota, who protected the city from invasion. This is Belleza del Oro, beauty of gold.
This is Binibini Alexandra May Rosales, number 13, from the province of Laguna. This traditional costume is made out of 100% indigenous material. The base is made out of banig cloth, which signifies the simple living of Laguneños and Lagunenses. Adorned with different shapes and sizes of wooden beads, it represents the rich culture, tradition, and of course the different tourist attractions here in Laguna. The fluorescent colors represents the grandest festival, which is Anilag, Ani ng Laguna Festival. This is celebrated yearly every March as a form of thanksgiving to our Almighty God for the bountiful harvest from the Laguna lakes to the rice fields and farms. Mabuhay ang Laguna!
Justine Beatriz Del Josef Elizarta, Binibini 14, proudly representing Padada, Davao del Sur. Paglalakbay. The Vinta is a traditional sailboat inspired by the Moro and Sama Bajau tribe. It's a Philippine symbol that signifies migration and the colorful traditions from the island of Mindanao. With this creation, I carry the heart and soul of the tribe, their aspirations, and the hopes and dreams behind each unique hand-loomed embroidery made by Mindanao weavers. Family values are a big attachment to the Vinta, as it provides means of livelihood and transport for each clan. And just like overseas Filipino workers, we leave no one behind when it comes to our loved ones. And this design is a story of ingenuity of the Filipino people, a symbol of courage, hope, and the resilience that lies within our nation.
Ako si Binibini 15, Karen Lori Mendoza, galing sa Iloilo City. My national costume is inspired by Bulalakaw, a Visayan deity of illness and pestilence. Bulalakaw is believed to be a mythical bird with fiery feathers. According to the myth, Bulalakaw is a thin boy wearing a bird-like headdress, or even a genderless deity. This deity is worshipped by Babaylans and can be appeased by performing necessary rites and rituals. Bulalakaw visits the earthly plane in form of a comet. There's also a superstition for children: when a comet darts into the sky, children should not point at it, because the Bulalakaw does not like it and might punish them for that deed. According to the ancient culture, a comet is a symbolism of dread and a harbinger of doom, and also a messenger of the gods.
Ako po si Binibining Kimberly Ledesma Tikas-Tikas mula sa bayan ng mga Makata, Balagtas, lalawigan ng magagandang gilag at magigiting na bayani, Bulacan. Kinikilala bilang reyna ng mga kapistahan sa Pilipinas, ang Flores de Maria o Flores de Mayo na pinapaniwalaang nagsimula sa Bulacan, Bulacan noong 1865. Ang kasuotang ito ay obra ni Marvin Garcia na malinaw na nagpapakita sa pagkamalikhain ng mga Bulakenyo. Pinalilibutan ng daan-daang bulaklak at mga batong kristal na kumakatawan sa alhasan ng may kawayan na lalong pinatingkad ng magarbong kinayas na kawayan ng singkaban na isang anyo ng tradisyonal arkitekturang Bulakenyo na sumisimbolo ng kasaysayan, sining, kultura, at kalinangan ng sambayanang Bulakenyo.
Ako si Binibini 17, Hannah Constantino Arnold, galing sa probinsya ng Masbate.
A national costume reminds us of important pages of our history. The beautiful islands where we come from, the stories of our ancestors, and the unparalleled artistry of our people. As a young girl, the colors, music, and dances of our country brought so much joy to my curious eye. And so began my love for the Bulaklakan Festival. Hand-painted, hand-embroidered, and covered in petals to gracefully give honor to our Virgin Mary. Just like a flower blooming in time, Louis Pangilinan embraces the artisanal spirit of the costume, implying progress, dignity, and celebration, which also defines a Filipina.
Ako ang inyong Binibini number 18, Maria Ruth Erica Queen, mula sa lalawigan ng Nueva Ecija.
Bigas, kanin, palay. This attire is more than just a representation of my province. The fully sequined body, with palay embossed beads and beaded trails, paints the picture of a prosperous rice field and the story of our identity. From the farmers who till the land, to the workers who reap the fields, to the people who prepare our meals. Palay is more than just a crop. This is the identity of the Philippines. It represents hardship during planting and tranquility during harvest. It represents life, passion, dedication, and the strong Filipino spirit of never-ending determination.
Ako si Binibini 19, Gabriel Basiano, galing sa Burangan City, Eastern Samar. My costume is called the Golden Kalesa. Kalesa is believed to be the first introduced to the Philippines by Spain during the 18th century. It has served as a deluxe mode of transportation that only the rich and high-ranking officials can afford. It used to be Philippines' king of the road, long before the jeepneys arrived. This golden kalesa represents the shades of my hometown, Borongan City, Eastern Samar. I am wearing a mesh bodysuit that is embellished with thousands of golden Swarovski crystals. The carriage is adorned by hand-woven mat and most commonly known as banig, one of the major products of my province.
Roy Aquino, the designer, thought of a modernized barot saya that traditionally consists of 4 parts: a baro or kamesa, a long skirt or saya, a kerchief worn over the shoulders or alampay, and a short rectangular cloth worn over the skirt or patadyong. And this is inspired by the gown of Doña Trinidad Rojas, former First Lady when she was a Carnival Queen of the Philippines, Carnival of 1920. And the town of Rojas, Isabela was the first town named in honor of President Manuel Rojas.
Together with my team, we wanted to highlight the natural riches from the sea, one of the main sources of income by the people in my province. The ocean is an important part of La Union, as we're known to be the surfing capital of the North. I hope that when you remember this piece of me and this piece of La Union, you are reminded of a sea goddess watching the ever-changing and ever-growing prosperous province of La Union.
Ako si Binibini 22, Shari Nagyao, nagmula sa progresibong lalawigan ng Pampanga. DASE, Developing ITAS Strength Through Empowerment. Dase, which means banig in Tagalog, is the main fabric material of this masterpiece. The palay grains represent Pampanga's fertile soil and our hard-working farmers. The crown symbolizes the devotion and high spirituality of Pampanga's patron saint, the miraculous Virgen de los Remedios. Pampanga, a place full of love and a place full of dreams. There may be the toughest time when the Kapampangan region was devoured by calamities. Serenity was lost, but the pride and joy remained in every Kapampangan's heart, which regained who we truly are. Strong-willed, intense, willing to extend hands to build unity. And I am a Kapampangan. Pag maragul ko, Kapampangan ko.
Ako si Jasmine Di Makulangan, hali sa probinsya nin Albay. This costume is named Daragang Magayon or Beautiful Maiden. This is an interpretation of the female protagonist from the legend of Mount Mayon. The fire surrounding Binibini 23 is as scorching as the passion between star-crossed lovers Magayon and Panganoron. Their fiery love might have ended in tragedy, but it led to the rise of the crown jewel of Albay, a befitting costume for Albay's reigning festival queen.
La Luz de la Paz. This national costume reflects the light of peace in the midst of the current global darkness. This light of peace is represented by a traditional Christmas symbol in Angeles City, the distinct parul Angeles, which forms the base of the costume. Characterized by its simplicity yet intricacy in design, this local lantern traces its origin in the century-old tradition of Lubenas ning Pasko, the culmination of a 9-day prayer vigil leading to the Christmas day. This is the same symbolic light that guided the local farmers in attending the Mass at dawn before proceeding to their field works. This tradition extended to the present generation as Simbang Gabi. One symbolic intention of this lantern procession, the fish, which represents prosperity, is depicted by the lame fabric details that resemble the fish scales. This masterpiece aspires to bring hope and prosperity as the world anticipates for the most wonderful time of the year, the Christmas season. Yako po i Maria Francesca Taruk, menibatan kang syudad ning Angeles, Pampanga.
This is a depiction of the traditional Maria Clara dress inspired from the Gigantes Festival of Angono, Rizal. It is celebrated every fourth week of November, where giant papier-mâché or gigantes are paraded on the streets. A fusion of the Maria Clara and gigantes, using the framework and the massiveness of the gigantes under the Maria Clara dress. The fabric is an interpretation of our piña fabric, highlighting its fibrous characteristic. Turning around, the Maria Clara is transformed into the colorful gigantes adorned with playful lights, giving it a festive vibe.
Ako si Binibini 26 na Riza May Valerio ng Arayat, Pampanga. This creation is inspired by the mythical goddess of Mount Arayat, Maria Sinukuan, who lived on Mount Arayat. She is also dubbed as the sacred protector of the mountain and the animals that surround it. Pampanga is known as a natural bird haven in the Philippines, wherein 14,000 kinds of nomadic birds gather each year in the swamps as a stopover before continuing their migration to different parts of the world. These birds are important to humans in various ways, such as providing natural fertilizers and dispersing seeds all over the mountain. This goddess characterizes kindness among animals and generosity to its inhabitants. This ensemble is a magnificent symbolism of the rich and colorful heritage of Pampanga.
I am a female centurion, demonstrating heroic qualities of a Filipino, bravely leading our century. Depicted by Roman costumes, tunics, and vivid metallic embellishments that have been crafted by local artisans and wood carvers of Paete, Laguna. This reclaimed and recycled warrior ensemble symbolizes women's ability to exhibit our courage and stand up for our rights and core feminine values. Possessing as much strength, determination, and fortitude as any man, I am willing to take up arms and fight for a cause with relentless perseverance. Ako si Binibini 27, Rochelle Liman, mula sa Oriental Mindoro.
Pearl of the Orient, designed by Michael Barassi. Cerulean is the water that drapes the archipelagic province of Romblon, and this deep sky blue hue hides within its chest pearls, pure, incorruptible, and wise as the queen who wears this attire. Miss Romblon wears the color of the waters that surround the province of Romblon. The stretches of white sand beaches, which are arguably one of the best in the world. Adorned with pearls from her head to toe, she flaunts the serene beauty of these jewels of the seas and the elegance they signify. Above her head is the oyster shell that hides this lustrous gem, representing the hidden wisdom cultivated through years of toil, pressure, and hard work. One Miss Romblon wears loud and proud. It is always a marvel looking at pearls nurtured, cherished by the deep sea waters, as stunning as this empowered Romblomanon is.
Binibini 29, Alexandra Faith Garcia, lungsod ng Olongapo, lalawigan ng Zambales. Ulo ng Apo, the symbolic name where the city started. The Dove Warrior is a costume inspired by the piece engraved by Apo in Olongapo, who was beheaded by treacherous tribe members. In the hand is the Ulo ng Apo, which empowers the maiden to call for peace in everyone. The ideology of the headpiece worn came from the Dove Monument found in Olongapo City. A rallying cry is shown by the Dove Warrior, an excruciating shout for justice and fairness to all. The Dove Warrior calls for every modern Filipina to be the symbol of peace, like Apo.
The Queen of Philippine Folk Dance, Bulaklakan. I am wearing a costume inspired by the famous Filipino folk dance, Bulaklakan. The designer of this national costume, Miss Poisabiana, came up with the idea using vibrant colors to represent the joyful culture of the Philippines. The bodies of this costume is a Filipiniana butterfly sleeves adorned with precious pearls from the South Sea. Spanish lace were used for the top fabric, and the flamboyant skirt is filled with flowers to signify festivity and glamour.
My national costume is called Mary Love. This was made to pay tribute to our Mother Mary, who has been our rock amidst the recent Taal volcano eruption. We chose to wear something that will signify the strength and hope of all Batangueños, especially people of Agoncillo who were greatly affected by the recent catastrophe. I carry with me the Holy Rosary, same with what most of the families have carried during the afternoon of January 12, 2020. It was our weapon, our shield, and our rock. In my head is a tiara that signifies unity among all Filipinos who helped us during our unforgettable nightmare. Its silver linings and crystal is a reminder for us to be grateful for everything that we've received. The trailing cape with thousands of Swarovski crystals represent thousands of Batangueños who is with me as I walk with this dress. Each step I take is a step closer in resurrecting our faith that one day soon we will be triumphant once more. We also chose the color red as a manifestation of the burning desire of all Batangueños to rise from the ashes.
Ako si Binibini 32, Leslie Ann Ingles Ticaro, galing sa lungsod ng Tagum. Waling-waling, soon by impeccable skills to be worn by Binibini, showcasing the culture and fashion of Mindanao, celebrating the beauty of the Philippine flora, representing the grace, strength, and essence of a Filipina. This couture creation is proudly made by a Mindanaoan couturier and beadmaster, Mark Joseph Sayed, to exemplify that the Filipina beauty is more than what meets the eye. Filipina beauty has become transformative, that it has broken stereotypes and beauty standards, and that Filipina beauty mirrors culture, experience, substance, authenticity, and life. A binibini is a waling-waling, highly coveted, majestic, and one of a kind.
Ako si Binibini 33, Bellatrix Stan, galing sa Zamboanga City. Subang, full moon worship of the Subanans. A creation that mirrors the rich culture of the first inhabitants of the Zamboanga Peninsula. Princess Nayak, a royal princess of the tribe Subanen, the daughter of Subanen King, King Timway Saragan. She is a reformed royal princess who travels regularly from one location to another to clear more forest fields. She is destined to be a fierce warrior princess who will be the strongest and most powerful Subanen tribesman. Traditional wear consisted of upper and lower garments with headdress and other accessories. The tight-fitting garment that was generally black made that symbolizes of the night, as a time of worship of the tribe. This confirms that the belief of the black garment can shield them against eclipse. This attire in full regalia consisting of sub, upper, magpandyo, headdress, gilang, bracelet, singil, anklet. Aside from the pious signification of the black garment, it was practical on the part of the Subanans the use of gold details, as an expression of the tribe's beliefs in supernatural entities, and the red as a sign of blood for the defense of the tribe's ancestral domain.
Sultan Kudarat Princess. Since time immemorial, brass body ornaments have been seen as symbol of status, especially in the southern Philippines. They signify the preservation of cultural values and immortality of royal beauty. Each style pattern epitomizes hard work and skills of the artisans. Sultan Kudarat, a Muslim ruler who reigned and asserted his leadership in the entire Sultanate of Maguindanao, was a paragon of a real warrior. It is only fitting that he will serve as the inspiration of this masterpiece. The details and patterns were hand-beaded and individually attached to the fabric to commemorate the journey and sacrifices of Sultan Kudarat before he became a revered hero of our country. Inal fabric, which is known to be worn by royal families and community leaders, is the main material used to complement the whole look of this national costume. Ethnic patterns and gold brass amulets and neckpiece believed to be the symbol of power and sovereignty, which is still worn by the people of Sultan Kudarat. This masterpiece is a manifestation of modern interpretation of ultimate ruler and none other than the women of today embracing their talent and purpose to bring equality and fairness. The one who will wear the costume will surely exhibit a character of physical resilience, mental toughness, emotional stability, and spiritual fortitude.